the officials from the Ministry of Education, the Chairman of the Board of Governors of St. John's Educational Trust, Mr. David Watman, and all board members and patrons, the Headmaster of St. John's College, Mr. William Annandale and Mrs. Annandale, guests of honor, Mrs. Bera and Mr. Mark Barber, Chairperson of the Parents Liaison Committee, Mrs. Tracy Bicknell, invited guests, parents, staff, and brethren of St. John's College, I extend a warm welcome to you all. It's that time of the year again, time to say goodbye. Goodbye to a place we've grown to call home. Goodbye to people we've grown to consider family. It's never easy saying goodbye. For 6 years, I and most of my compatriots, my soon-to-be unemployed brothers of the college, have roamed these corridors, beginning our journey as frail, confused and overwhelmed 13-year-old boys, and now approaching the finish line as proud 18-year-old men, with the exception of Mr. Ngobani Biba and Mr. Mordecai Chitsinde, whose ages just so happen to be unknown. It is with great pleasure that I stand before you this evening, delivering this speech. You see, for years I have pondered the intricate planning that goes into preparing this very speech. Year after year, we have ushered in a new era, passed down the reins of leadership to the next generation. Those of us who have been at the school for quite some time have witnessed multiple groups of young men grab hold of these reins and steer the college in whatever direction they saw fit. But inevitably, their term came to an end, just as ours has. And each year, this very address seems to be the icing on the cake, a concise illustration of that generation's time at the college. This speech, in a sense, portrays not only how far we have come, but also how far we have yet to go. You see, throughout my 6 years at the school, so much emphasis has been placed on this 10 or so minute speech. The topics have varied over the years, some having included an extended metaphor of some sort, an implicit message pertaining to the past, present, and future of that year group. Others have merely been words without no true message, but words that were spoken from the heart, words that have reverberated through this institution for years, and to this day have managed to shape a younger generation. All these speeches were great in their own right, and each head boy I've witnessed deliver this speech managed to leave their successor overwhelmed by the burden of living up to the standard they had set. In the eyes of many, and I'm not going to lie, my eyes included, the only way to be remembered at the school, the only means of determining how great a leader you were, was by seeing how your end of year speech compared to your predecessors. This was, and still is, the mentality of most of us. As I stated earlier, this was my mentality too. This very state of mind was the reason why initially I did not want to embrace the new role the school had bestowed upon me. I did not want to admit it then, but I was scared. Scared of the sudden load of responsibility that had been handed down to me. Scared that I would not live up to the perpetual high expectations the entire St. John's College community had of me. But most of all, I was scared of being the reason why such a great generation of men would never be remembered, all because my speech was not up to par. But over the years, I have learned things that seem to have sunk in as I've matured. As they sunk in, I began to consider my new role as a blessing and not a curse I had made it out to be. I've learned that mere spoken words do not define a leader, but the overall impact they have on those that look up to them is a true measure of their success. The tie, the blazer, the shirt, what does it really mean? Albert Einstein once said, try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. Ladies and gentlemen, and more so to you, men of the college, I have learned that too much emphasis has been placed on these things. As students age, they become blinded by their insatiable yearning to obtain them and lose sight of their true goal. According to Napoleon Hill, the starting point of all achievement is desire, which is true, but the very thing, on this case things we desire, do not seem to coincide with the ethos that this elitist establishment, that this elite establishment strives to instill in us. What good is being granted an opportunity, being handed the chance to make a difference if you have no desire to make a change? In my 13 years as a St. John's boy, my perspective on life has been molded in such a way that I now realize that the positions we earn are nothing compared to the lessons we learn on our journey to the top. And that the things that will help us make a difference out there is not this, but the values we attain, the lessons we've learned from encountered adversity, and the drive we acquire to be the best that we can be. I'm not one to use cliches, but over the past few weeks I've realized just how true this cliche is. Gents, make the most of your time at this school. Do not become so eager to rise to the top and thus neglect savoring what's in between. From being mesmerized by the pipe band every Friday morning to having rap battles and English lessons, singing your heart out at compulsories to simply kicking raps with the yoid during the study period. Make sure you soak it all up, because in a flash, it'll all be in the past, and all you can do is reminisce. I mean, I may remain absol, but I'm absolutely certain it's worth it. Living a life with a purpose instead of constantly searching for that one thing that seems nice on the surface. Real rap. Shout out to Nas, Biggie, Park, and Zuda. A couple more shout outs to the people who have had an impact on me over the years at this school. To Mr. Hoffmeyer, aka Steele, but better known as Hope. So, at first you struck me as quite a backwards man. Until one day, I and many others learned that this was just your swag. I thank you for putting up with my coach tendencies, and more so for being that one person I could confide in when confused or just required guidance. You're a great man, a man of principles and values, traits which I one day hope to fully possess. It's been good working with you. To my day one teachers, Mr. Sakala, Mr. Miyaza, and Madame Farouk, I could not have asked for better staff members with whom I could share 4 years plus at the school with. Mr. Sakala, I know it's been difficult dealing with us for 6 years now, but the day has finally come for you to say goodbye to our dry humor and incomprehensible jokes which are usually about you, sir. We've had our fun. You told us that when you say cut it, you mean cut it. And over the years, we've learned when to draw the line and have managed to develop a relationship based on honesty and mutual respect. You're going to miss all your trademark statements from Mpana. Ever do that again. I will not. To the subtle, all right, get to my office. You've been a great mathematics teacher and an even better mentor. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. To Mr. Muyedza, over the years, you've divulged the wonders of the physics. Proved to us that understanding the principle of superposition of waves is more important than having a driver's license. Now that our time as students has come to an end and you have taught us all we need to know, it's our turn now. I speak on behalf of your entire upper 6 physics class when I say that I have never met a teacher so passionate about what he does and so resilient in his endeavor to ensure that his students work to their full capacity. It has been an honor being your student for the past 5 years. Madame Fadouk, he has been like my mother away from home, always making sure I wasn't getting up to any mischief, always quick to teach me a lesson whenever I stepped out of line. During the 4 years you taught me, I learned the importance of remaining down to earth and hardworking, and for this I thank you. There are a couple of teachers who, luckily for them, didn't teach me for very long, but teachers who still made my life at St. John's College that much more memorable. Mr. Radimer, you sir, are a real G. As you know what they say, real recognize real, so it's no mystery why you grew to be one of my most looked up to staff members. Your mellow attitude and work hard, play hard mindset are both things I strive to emulate. It's been a pleasure. Dr. Riley, you only taught me for a year, but during that year, you truly did enrich not just my mind, but the minds of many others, no pun intended. It must have been a difficult year for you, having to take a class comprising of the likes of Logan Madame. and the Zen. And I'd just like to thank you for having the sheer willpower to stick around. The class of 2014 is a rare group of gentlemen who I have watched grow over the past few years, gentlemen who I can without a doubt say epitomize everything this institution stands for. The memories we've made, the good times we've shared, the bad times we've enjoyed together. These are the things I shall treasure for the rest of my life. I shall never forget watching the constant firing of shots between Shah Salanki and Tino Tenda Chikota during the war zone we called chemistry, with Kudam Gwariri, Ngoni Ngorima, Tobile Maurera, and Jason Fox, discussing gold chains, artwork, cornflake-themed superheroes, really major issues in life, with the very special Mr. Gad Stangley. Being there to offer Rory Deacon some advice whenever he was having woman problems, and always reminding him that these items just aren't loyal. The standard Wednesday sessions with my two very own lovely therapists, Mrs. Vidovich and Mrs. Post, the occasional banter at Peter Lindsay's house with Denzel Machipo, Bobani Biba, and Farrell Yoga, watching Nigel Glover dazzle the crowd with his extraordinary footwork before being rugby tackled by Shane Snotter during break time soccer, debating who's better between Leo Messi and CR7, with Chingai Masenda and Ngoni Korombindo every morning in the car park before school, teaching Byron Pass supporters how to do the Shmani dance and laughing hysterically at his lack of coordination. I shall miss the coaches with Zawadi Maeka, watching the Headboys take selfies with the skeleton they call Oscar, and coming up with ideas for inventions that will one day make us rich with Michael Starbuck. The famous Michael James Roland Sylvester once said, I have thrived here, not because of who I am, but because of whom I've come to know. These little things, these diverse friendships of mine, these are the things I shall miss most. I've known Teacher Dei Majude for 13 years now. Believe it or not, he's grown to be like an older brother to me. Being more responsible, wiser, less of a clown than his taller, better looking, more charming younger brother. Titch, I honestly could not have asked for a better friend. We have had our fair share of ups and downs, but throughout everything, we've always been there for each other. You are by far, along with Tabu Kapara, one of the most annoying people I've ever met. And I'm sure Mr. Mona agrees with me. But I love you, man. To my boy, my partner in crime, Elias Hamid. A lot of people say we are two halves of a whole, two peas in a pod. Clearly, one pea was exposed to more sunlight than the other. We went from being utter strangers to the closest we're friends in the blink of an eye 5 years ago. And now look how far we've come. It's sad that in a few months' time, we'll be forced to go our separate ways. Whether you end up becoming a professional rugby player or a professional bush pig hunter, I just hope you all forget me and the good times we shared. You, my friend, are truly one in a million. And leading the school with you this year has been one of the greatest experiences of my life. I mean that. And I could not have wished for anyone better to share that experience with. To my family, my parents, my sisters, my brothers, I'm beyond blessed to have you in my life. Mom, you are my pillar of strength. I can always trust in you to pick me up when I'm down and support me in all my endeavors. This year was tough for us both. And I'm well aware of the fact that you were just as scared as I was of the roles we had to embrace coming into this year. But you not only managed to face your fears head on, but also managed to help me face mine too. And without you by my side, every step of the way, I don't know what I would have done. To my father, you are one of a kind. You don't always tend to see eye to eye. But hey, cut me some slack, I'm a rebellious 18-year-old boy. Yes, we argue, we fight, but I love you and Mama so much. things happen. Yes, we argue, we fight, but I love you and Mama so much, and I don't think I tell you that enough. I know that you're overprotective and paranoid, not because you want to make my life hell, but merely because you care about me. And I one day hope to even be half the man that you are. My sisters, you two are something else. Your ability to make me so angry at you and change my mood just like that is unexplainable. I cannot imagine my life without you. You're the reason I live. I just want you to know that no matter what happens in the future, no matter where it is we go, no matter what it is we do, I'll always be there for you, just as you are for me. My brothers, you guys are amazing. You have taught me about loyalty, taught me about integrity, given me a taste of what it is to live life. The bond we have is one every sibling yearns for, one that cannot be broken, and I shall treasure it forever and always. Now, all that's left is to say goodbye to the senior section of the school. Form 4s. Oh man, Form 4s. One of the most talented forms I've ever seen at the school, and a form I'm hoping to see prosper at the home of this institution in a couple of years. It's been an honor serving you, gents. Lower 6, I had my doubts in the beginning. After a year of watching you guys overcome various obstacles as a unit, the class of 2014 will gladly hand you guys the reins of leadership. Good luck, boys. Finally, to the class of 2014, we made it, gentlemen.